Welcome, everyone, to Saturday Sanga. Greetings from the center of Poland. And nice to see you all on this late autumn afternoon, or for some of you, morning, and for some of you, evening. Planet which is spinning around and probably will continue. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutthapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakambitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta
Bhaktivedanta Swami
Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha-kr Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, again, nice to see you all. Soumya Karani is back from Vrindavan. It is said that, I don't remember exactly how it's said, but it's extremely beneficial to see a devotee who has come from Vrindavan, who has just returned from Vrindavan. So just seeing a devotee. Of course, we can say more generally, just seeing a devotee is purifying and freeing us from all the cobwebs in our minds. You know what is a cobweb? No, it's a spider web. A spider web which goes in all directions. There's these symmetrical spider webs, and then there's cobwebs that are just kind of, I don't know, like cotton. Speaking of which, I always remember, this must have been in the early 90s when I was in Mayapur. I don't remember who it was. One devotee said, "Come with me. I want you to meet one sadhu, one sannyasi in the Gaudiya Math." So we went to, it wasn't Yoga Pit, it was the Chaitanya, I always forget the names of these different mutts, but it's the next one after the big mutt, where is the Samadhi of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and the deities of Gandharvika Giridhari. So we went there and went to one, knocked on the door of one room. It was a small room, and inside was this little man, a sadhu, a sannyasi Vaishnava. And I don't remember his name, but he was very elderly, perhaps in his 90s by that time. It was not Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. It was a lesser known sannyasi. Anyway, the point is that I was a little shocked. His room was absolutely full of spider webs. And everywhere you could look, there were spider webs. And there were only no spider webs in the sort of places where he would specifically move. Otherwise, there were spider webs. And it seems like his mood was, why should I disturb them? This is their home, as much as it's my home. They're letting me stay here. Yeah. So that was his mood. It was quite amazing. You know, we always think we have to have everything very clean. Yeah, cleanliness is also a good thing, but anyway, I felt that I was getting a new insight into what is Vaishnava culture, to really respect all living entities. Yeah. Right. So, Srila Narottama Das Thakur ki jai. First, I always have this little struggle finding what I'm looking for with various screens open and so on. But we'll find it. Yeah, I think it's on this one. Yes, okay. Reviewing last week's song, which had some quite amazing lines. Um, well, why don't I share the screen? Why not? Whoops, what happened? I don't know what that's about. Can you see this? The song?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we can see, but if you can make it in a bigger, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, just quickly this. Oh, my dear hero, O Lord, the flute player, please hear my request to you. Your jewel-like toenails resemble the rows of moons that I wear like a necklace around my neck. Toenails like jewels, like moons around my neck. When you go to the forest with Sridhama and Sudama at that time, I stand at the doorstep thinking of going with you. But I am afraid of the elders and the respectable people. Therefore, my eyes simply gaze after you. So we have this picture, this image of a young girl standing on the doorstep, on the threshold of the door, looking out the door and seeing Krishna in the distance with his friends, Sridhama and Sudama. And she would like to just run out and join them. But no, she cannot do that. She's a girl and it wouldn't be proper. Whenever I see the new clouds, oh, my friend, I immediately remember you. And I let loose my hair. When I cook in the kitchen, I simply sing your glories and cry on the pretext of smoke. So letting loose the hair, as I understand, that means being in the presence of someone who is with whom one is intimate. Otherwise, the hair will always be tied back. And another, I think, vivid picture of cooking in the kitchen, and she's singing as one does when one cooks. That's all right. You can cook and sing, but she's also crying. And if someone gets suspicious, why is she crying? No, it's just because of the smoke. Oh, beloved Lord, you are neither a jewel nor a diamond that I can keep you tied to the end of my cloth. So I don't know exactly the practice. This is some sort of custom, I guess, of maybe for auspiciousness, maybe for protection, but having on the end of the sari, tied in the sari, some jewel. You are not a flower that I can decorate my hair with. if I were not a woman, I could have taken you, the ocean of divine qualities, all over the country. And that last, taking Krishna all over the country, is a bit strange. I can only think it would mean something like being a mendicant, but I'm not so sure. But otherwise, all of these negatives, you are not this, you are not that, you are not the other. Therefore, I cannot have you directly with me. And if I were not a woman, but she is a woman, then she could take Krishna with her and wander everywhere. So she wants to sort of own Krishna, and that is a devotional mood, mamata, the sense of being mine. Mama means mine, and mamata is mineness, the sense of possessiveness. And if I were aguru or sandalwood, then I would be smeared on your limbs. And when you would perspire, I would have fallen at your reddish lotus feet. So the idea, when you would perspire, so if she's aguru and sandalwood paste on his body, then when he perspires, that sandalwood and aguru will fall down with the perspiration. And where will it fall? It will fall to the Lord's reddish lotus feet. What desires I have? So she's maybe now getting sort of becoming suddenly sober. What are my crazy desires? Although I am a dwarf, still I want to touch the moon. Will the Creator ever fulfill my desires? Whoop, what's that happening? Mahima Mahi is scribbling, and it comes on the screen. That's interesting. I don't know how that happens. Yeah, so she's becoming kind of sober and realistic. She's saying, look, I'm just a dwarf, but I'm trying to touch the moon. It's not possible. And then this sort of rhetorical question, will the Creator ever fulfill my desires? In other words, nobody can fulfill my desires other than the Creator of the whole universe, because he can make arrangements. And finally, Narottama says, please hear, O my merciful Lord. Please do not neglect me the day I give up my body, being fully absorbed in your thoughts. Please give me shelter at your lotus feet. That's a nice prayer. The day I give up my body, being fully absorbed in your thoughts, please give me shelter at your lotus feet. Very nice. Okay. So now that was last week's song. And then we have this week's song, which is, and this week's song is the very last song of Prarthana. Okay. Okay, and move this here. Yeah. Now, I had difficulty with the meter of this song, but we'll do our best when we try to sing it. Hari Bolbo Aro Madana Mohan herabo go. Rūpe vrajera pathe calabo go. Now this go comes several times, and I don't think there's any other song in the whole Prarthana where this is. So I looked up in the Bengali dictionary. Well, I won't look for that now, but it says that this is a sambodhana. It's addressing someone. So as I understand it, it's like calling attention, sort of like, dear so-and-so, please listen. So Hari Bolbo Aramadana Mohan herabo go, rūpe vrajera pathe calabo go. When will I be able to say Hari and see Madan Mohan? For this form, I will walk to Braja. Okay, so we have the future tense, Bolbo, I will speak, or I will say Hari, Ara, and Madan Mohan, herabo, again future, first person future, herabo is I will see, and I think I've mentioned this before. My sense is it's more like the English word to behold. Which is a kind of reverential seeing. Rūpe vrajera pathe calabo go. So the pathe, on the path, pathe, of vrajera, rūpe, this form, for seeing this form, I will go to Vraja. And this again makes me wonder, when Narottama Thakura composed these songs, one feels like this one would have been before he ever went to Vrindavan. On the other side, it could be expressing the mood of he's been to Vrindavan in the past, and now he's back in Bengal, or he's in Puri, as we've been reading. And he's longing to be back in Vrindavan. We'll see. Does he go back to Vrindavan? So anyway, here he says, I'll get on the path to go to Braj in order to see the form of Madan Mohan. Jāba go vrajendra pure, haba go gopikāra nūpura. Tāńdera charane madhura, bājabo go. Vipine vinoda khelā, shangete rakhaler melā. Tāńdera charane dhula makabo go. When I enter the holy land of Braja, I will be the ankle bells of the gopis' feet. nūpura means ankle bells. So haba, I will be the nūpura, gopikāra, of the gopis. Vrajendra puri. I will make sweet, sweet sounds. Tāńdera, charane, madhura, bājabo. Go. So the verb is bājabo. I will ring. And what sort of ringing? Madhura. Sweet, sweet. Charane, on the feet. Tāńdera, of them, I think it is, of those gopis. And I will behold the pastimes of the cowherd boys and will spread the dust from their feet and apply it to my body. Vipine, in the forest, vinoda khelā, the playful play, vinoda, like bhakti vinoda, can mean something like playfulness, I think. And khelā means play or game. Shangete rākhaler melā. Rākhaler melā. Mela in modern Bengali means a big festival, a meeting. So I guess that's what it also means here. But I'm not sure. Tāńdera dula. Dula means dust. Makabo. I guess it means I will spread. Yeah, he's going to spread the dust from their feet and apply it to his body. Yeah. I don't know about rākhaler melā. Raksha. I don't know. Rādhā-kr rūpa-mādhurī, herabo, du noyanabari, nikunjer dare, dvari, raibo, go. Brajavasi tomara shobe, obilasha purao ebe, Arokobe śrī-kr bangshi shunabo go. I will behold the vision of the sweet form of Radha and Krishna in my two eyes. Du nayana means the two eyes, and bari, I think, means filled. Herabo, I will behold. Rūpa-mādhurī. Rūpa-mādhurī is very nice. The sweet form of Radha and Krishna. I will remain at the gate of the forest of Vraja. Nikunjer dvare, dvari raibo go. So it's translated as forest, but of course nikunja more specifically means a forest bower. We saw such bowers at in Vrindavan. Where were we? Biharvan and another place. And dvari. So dvari means at the door, and dvari, I believe, means a female person at the door, a doorkeeper, so to say, someone who's maybe a watchman, a watch girl. And roibo, I will stay. O residents of Vrajabhumi, please fulfill E abhilash purao. So abhilasha is desire. Which desire? A abhilash, this desire, this very one. Purao is imperative, do it, fulfill my desire. And so Vrajavasi, he's now addressing the Vrajavasis. Tomar Shabe, all of you Vrajavasis, Purao Ebe. Ebe is these, plural. So these desires, I think. Arokobe Shri Krishna Bangshi Shunabogo. When will I become, when will I hear the sweet sound of the flute of Sri Krishna? Kobe is the question, when? Sri Krishna Bangshi. In Bengal, you'll hear in the Gurukul, when I was living there, they were always making some new house with bangsh. Bangsh means bamboo. So there was always some talk about bangsh. And bangshi, a little bit guessing here, but again, it looks like feminine, so it can be that the flute. But is the flute feminine or masculine? As I don't remember, but it looks feminine here. E deha antima kale. Rakabo śrī-yamunāra jole. Jai radhe govinda bole. Bājabo go. Kohe Narottama Dasa. Na purilo obilasha. Arokobe brachevasa korbo go. At the last moment of my life, so edeha antim kale, at the time kale, which is antim, which is at the end, edeha, this body, I will place my body in the Jamuna. So rakabo, I guess, can mean will place, not just to remain or protect. I will place śrī-yamunāra jale, in the water of Śrī-yamuna, and float. I will float bājabo. And while I'm floating, I will sing Jai Radha Govinda. Jai Radhe Govinda Bole. Narottama says, I am unable to fulfill this desire. Kahe Narottama Kahe says, Na purilo abhilasha. I'm not able to fulfill. And then finally, arokobe Brajavasa, Korbo, go. When will I become a resident of Vrajabhumi? Kabe is the question, and then Brajavasa, resident of Vrajabhumi. But this word korbo is interesting because it's future tense, I will do or make. Koro and korbo. So when will it, so to me this implies that some effort has to happen from the side of the one who wants to reside in Vrindavan. It's not just going to happen. We can't just sit and wait for the mercy. So, yes, there are two fingers, right? We've come now to the end of the Kartik month. And actually today is the first day of Katyayani Vrata, which I think goes for another month. If any of you feel inspired to do some more Vrata, you can follow the gopis of Vrindavan who performed Katyayani Vrata in order to get Krishna as their husband. Yes, as I was reading in Indra Prabhu's biography, 1 year in Vrindavan, he had such intense feeling, I need to make spiritual advancement. I can't just be, going on like this. So and it was Kartik time, so he did a very serious Kartik Vrat. I don't remember the specifics, but very much reducing his eating, and no doubt he was very much increasing his jāba. And that wasn't all. When he finished with Kartik Vrat, then he immediately continued with Katyayani Vrata the next month, doing more austerities. So, well, if anyone is inspired. But it should not be done, shouldn't be done for show. It shouldn't be done to, get name and fame. Rather, it should be done to please Krishna. Okay. Well, okay, let's close this. And musicians on. Okay. Well, I guess I should bring this back, for some of you may not have the text. Share. And share. Okay. All right. But as I said, this I found a little hard to get the meter. Some of it is kind of manageable by dropping short syllables. Bolbo Mohana Bogo rūpe vrajera pathe calabo go Hari Bolbo Aro Madan Mohan herabo go rūpe vrajera pathe calabo go jāba go vrajendra haba go gopikāra nūpura tāńdera madhura bājabo go jāba go vrajendra haba go gopikāra nūpura tāńdera madhura bājabo go. All right. Vipine, vinoda khelā Sanga caran calabo go vipine vinoda khelā Sanga tāńdera caran calabo go. Rādhā-Krishna rūpa-mādhurī. This was hard. Rādhā-Krishna rūpa-mādhurī herabo bari nikunjera dvare go Rādhā-Krishna rūpa-mādhurī herabo bari nikunjera dvare go Vrajavasi tomar sabbe abilash purao ebe arakabe śrī-kr bangshi shuna go Vrajavasi tomar sabbe abilash purao ebe arkabe śrī-kr bangshi shuna go edeha antim kale jāmunar jale jaya radhe govinda bole bājabo go edeha antima kale rakboshri jāmunar jale jaya radhe go Jai Radhe Govinda Bole Bājabo go Kohe Narottama Dasa Napurilo Abila Arakabe Braja Vasa Korbo go Kahe Narottama Dasa Napurilo Abhilash Arakabe Braja Vasa Korbo go Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Shri Radhe, Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Shri Radhe, Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Radhe, Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Radhe. Shri Prarthana song collection of Narottama Thakura Ki Jai. We've been through the entire collection of, is it 55 songs? I think possibly. Yeah, so we've been through a lot of songs. That means 55 weeks, and we weren't meeting every week. So we spent more than a year going through Prarthana. So you may be wondering, what next for songs? Well, next we have Narottama Thakura's other songbook. What is it called? Prema Chandrika. Prema Chandrika. It's not in my mind now. Anyway, we will see. Audari Chandrika is looking for it now. Okay. So there we go. Did you find the book?
Prema Bhakti Chandrika.
Prema Bhakti Chandrika, of course. Prema Bhakti Chandrika. Good. Good. Now, just before I forget, let me check. Krishna Ragini Mataji, you wrote to me about not getting properly informed about the links, and I just wanted to check if that got sorted with Katyayani. Is that sorted now? Yeah. Is it okay now? Did you clarify
Yes.
the problem?
Yes. This time I got it in time.
Okay.
In the right time.
Okay. Hopefully
Thank
that
you.
will be the regular standard
The
now.
regular, yes.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Good. So let's visit a little bit of continuation of Narottama's biography, sacred biography of Narahari Chakravarti Thakur, the Narottam Vilasa. We're coming to the end of the fifth Vilasa. Let me move this down so you can see it, especially for our translators. Okay, we can get rid of that. There. Actually, we can make it bigger also. How's that? So, last time, Narottama Das Thakur, who is also known as Sri Thakur Mahashoy, he's referred to, or Acharya Mahashoy. Yeah, Sri Thakur Mahashoy, or Acharya Thakur. So he's meeting with Shyamananda, and they are meeting where? They're meeting, as I understand, they're meeting in Jajigram, which is of Banavishnupur, and as I remember, it's in Odisha. And of course, they traveled together. Narottama Srinivas traveled together, Narottama Srinivas, and my brain is not working today, and a third person, devotee from Vrindavan, to Bengal. So they were together for a very long time, no doubt several weeks in any case. And so now, and they certainly became very close. They would have been also in Vrindavan for so long. I guess, yes, they were classmates. Jiva Goswami was their Shiksha Guru, teaching them, no doubt teaching them the Shat Sandarbhas, which he was compiling, which are his systematic theology of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So now they're meeting again, and but they're meeting for a short time. Narottama has been in Puri, and he's going back to Bengal because why? Because he's been ordered to go back by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whom he has met in a vision with all the devotees while he was in Puri. And he's telling Shyamananda that he should go now to Puri. So they're kind of crossing paths at Jajipur, and they will again be separated. So it says, Shyamananda and Narottama stayed together for a few more days. Meanwhile, the entire village came to know of Shyamananda and Narottama's imminent departure. Imminent means very soon, but that's the wrong word. It should be imminent. Eminent means very honored. So whoever did this translation didn't quite get it right, but it gets the idea. Imminent, it's a similar word, but different. Who could describe the sadness at the time of their separation? All of Shyamananda's disciples cried miserably, especially Rasika Murari could not stop crying. So we don't know, I can't say anything who is Rasika Murari. Maybe he's mentioned in the Chaitanya-charitamrita. Sri Thakur Mahashoy affectionately embraces him, and he's extremely loving and merciful to all those who had taken shelter at the feet of Shyamananda. So that's nice. The disciples of Shyamananda are shown great affection by Narottama. So this was not sectarianism, that, they're your disciples, they're not my disciples. No, he showed all affection to Shyamananda's disciples. Thakur Mahashoy blesses all of them, and then he leaves. He leaves for Bolbo. And he leaves Shyamananda, and Shyamananda helplessly breaks out in tears, and no one can pacify him. Thereafter, with a heavy heart, Shyamananda begins his journey to Nilachal. And then Narhari Chakravarti says, I have described Shyamananda's journey to Nilachala in the Bhakti Ratnakara. This is the other book by Narhari Chakravarti Thakur. Please listen attentively as I, Narahari, narrate Narottama Vilasa. So that's the end of the fourth Vilasa. And let's see, we're on page 23. So we're about 1/3 of the way through the book, and we're taking our time. But I would say that we can take each of these short excerpts, these short passages that we're reading. Each one can be like a picture, a snapshot, a vision that we can cherish. And of course, what we're cherishing, it seems like a theme that runs through the entire story of Narottama, is meeting devotees and parting from devotees, the joy of meeting devotees, the pain of leaving devotees, the sense of anticipation and the sense of separation, viraha. So one of our visiting scholars in Oxford, the late Joseph O'Connell, who was a professor at University of Toronto for many years, very, very sweet man, and a scholar of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, who was very fluent in Bengali, and he just, his whole life, practically, he had been studying Gaudiya Vaishnavism. His own tradition was Roman Catholic. He said, he identified, I don't know how much, but to some extent with that. But he wrote a lot about the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition in a scholarly way. One of his points I remember that I appreciated was that one can think of bhakti in two different dimensions. There's, he called it vertical bhakti and horizontal bhakti. So vertical bhakti is, the relation between the Lord and the devotee. So it's Krishna is up and we are below. And so that's a kind of vertical bhakti. And horizontal bhakti is the bhakti, the feelings of devotion that are there among the devotees, the sharing. And of course, there's no separation between the two. The one implies the other. We cannot have one without the other. And of course, we understand Krishna very much emphasizes the horizontal bhakti. If you don't have devotion for my devotees, then you're not my devotee, he says, basically. So this is nice. Okay. Right. Caran. Srila Narottama Thakura ki jai. So let's see, what else do I have to share? One thing I want to share. Mani Banda, what's so funny? Is it anything shareable? Not really. Really. Okay. We won't embarrass anyone. So one thing I wanted to share, it was just a thought that came to my mind this morning as a kind of analogy for, well, I was thinking it could be an analogy for reading our devotional literature. And the analogy is with what's called panning for gold. So in California, where I grew up from age 11 or 12, there was what was called a gold rush. Gold was discovered in, I think it was 1849. And the news spread like wildfire across America. And I don't know how many people, probably thousands of people, left everything and went to California to strike it rich, to find gold and become wealthy. And of course, most of them failed, but some of them were successful. They found gold. So the way to find gold was, it was in the rivers, actually, or it was near rivers. And it was in very small bits, small grains of gold mixed in the earth. And so the thing was, you had to find some way to extract the gold. Well, because gold is a heavy element, you can take advantage of its heaviness. So they would take some earth in which the hope was there was some gold, and they would put it in a very shallow, round pan, sort of like a wok. And they would go to the riverside, a river that's flowing, and they would, sort of with the hands, they would carefully sort of let the water run through, and with it let the mud and the earth flow out of this bowl to leave. If there was gold, then the gold would settle to the bottom, and then they could take that gold and put it in a bag, collect the gold like that. So this is my half-baked analogy. And maybe it's not the best. And analogies always have imperfections, but I was thinking it's when we're reading, we're applying our attention. And so I wanted to compare the attention, applying devotional attention to the water. The water is flowing, so our consciousness it's constantly going, it's flowing. And the gold nuggets, the gold pieces in the mixture of earth and gold are what we're looking for. And we're looking for the Krishna consciousness. But there's a lot of earth. And what is that earth? That's our material habits, habitual ways of thinking, and our whatever, our distractions and everything else, our preconceptions, our fears, our whatever, which obscure, which make so we don't see the gold. But with the attention, if we keep on it and very carefully endeavor in our reading, then the gold nuggets of Krishna consciousness that we can then take, we can be enriched by them. We can make them our own, so to say. Okay, that was my little inspiration this morning, for what it's worth. Does that analogy work? Anyone want to tell me? You're free to say no, nah, sorry, good try, but no, it didn't work. You're free to say that if you think it needs more work. Nobody is volunteering. Everyone's so shy. All right.
Guru Maharaj.
Let's see. Okay.
Guru Maharaj, if I can say.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I like the analogy very much because, like you said, because those small golden, small whatever parts were there between among a lot of soil and earth. It's really something which I can see from my life that even though I'm not aware of my material desires, when the situation comes, then all those material desires also comes in front, which I was not aware of before. So it's really a lot of this, but small golden shining stones can be seen there, of course, with the association of devotees. But I like the comparing. I like the analogy very much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I feel more encouraged now. Dear Lalita.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I was sort of connecting your analogy to reading Śrī-Bhagavatam.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yes, because in my personal experience, this works well, because when I just start reading, first half an hour, it takes me some time to get rid of the dust and the dirt, or whatever was going on subtly in my mind that I wasn't aware of. And then after half an hour, the real concentration kicks in. And then the discovery of gold happens. And when that happens, I usually write it down, what really the weight of the Krishna's pastimes, or the meaning, or for me it opens the world of gold. It opens the world of golden world. some
golden world.
planet. Yes, like a golden planet. some totally different dimension than the one that's sitting in the
Oh, yeah.
So it works perfectly for me.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you.
I just see your note now. In Croatian, flute is feminine. Okay. What's the Croatian word?
Flauta.
Flauta. Yeah. And I see Rasikananda. Yeah, for some reason I was thinking Rasikacharya is someone different from Rasikananda, but I think you're right. It's probably the same because, yes, Rasikananda is a very prominent Vaishnava associated with Shyamananda, an Odian Vaishnava. Thank you for sharing that.
Bhagavati
And Avaduta rise. Say again?
Bhagavati raised her hand.
Oh, okay, 1 second. Looking for gold is like looking for details in the Bhagavatam, and Srila Prabhupada says devotees like details. Yeah, nice. Yes, Bhagavati Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
I had to think about the devotee. Yesterday we had our closing of Kartik session in the temple room, and devotees were sharing their realizations.
Uh-huh.
So there was a new bhakta, and he was sharing with everybody how he's struggling with his principles. He's trying to follow the principles. He's trying to keep his vows, but then it doesn't work, and he kind of struggling with that. And just by him saying that in public and lamenting that in front of the deities, I kind of was thinking that's like the gold shining through all the sand that is covering it. That was my realization that I had when you were talking about this.
Thank you. Very, very nice. Yes. Yeah, and when something like that happens, it's interesting. It can be purifying for everyone who's present, because everyone, kind of feels like wanting to encourage that person, and also one may be feeling like, oh gosh, this is also true of me.
Well, that's what I told him. I spoke with him this morning, and I said, by doing that in a full temple room and with a lot of devotees listening online,
Yeah.
the result is now that all those devotees, they're rooting for you, they're praying for you, and they're giving you the blessings. And he was extremely happy with it. So that is the result.
Yeah. Thank you. Very good. And Gokulananda Hari. Oh, you're also with us. Nice. Shaking the sand is like chanting, chanting the the holy names, looking for the seed of bhakti, the gold, always with patience and faith. Okay, that's another way to think of the analogy. I was thinking of it in terms of reading, but yes, why not? So there's a kind of shaking process in this panning for gold, as it's called. Good. Okay, I also have something more to share. You know how I like to share about different books. And last week I mentioned Kabir, this very widely known North Indian poet of possibly the 15th century, possibly before the time of Mahaprabhu in Benares. And I mentioned he's a bhakta, but he would be classified probably as a nirguna bhakta, which may sound like an oxymoron. How can you have nirguna bhakti? But there's a very wide tradition in especially North India I don't know about South India, of Nirguna Bhakti. And somehow it came up in discussion last week, but there is this wide tradition, and I have a book by a scholar. Her name is Linda Hess, and she spent a lot of time. I think she teaches, maybe she's retired now, university. She spent a lot of time in North India with musicians, traveling musicians, sing Kabir songs. And then she wrote a book called Bodies of Song, Bodies of Song, Kabir Oral Traditions and Performative Worlds in North India. That's a typical scholarly kind of title. And it's a very rich study and very personal. She really brings herself into it and how she was really getting to know these people that she spent so much time with. And I mention this because I feel we should, I feel it's a healthy thing if devotees are just a little bit educated about the broader traditions of bhakti. There's our tradition, and for us, Lord Chaitanya and his associates and Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. This is our home. This is where we live. This is Prabhupada's house. But there are other homes, and we can be aware of them, and we can appreciate them, I think. And so in her book, she gives the text of quite many of the songs. She always mixes into her narrative explaining. So just sort of randomly, I thought to read one of these texts, maybe two. And just, it gives you some idea. Now, it has to be said that practically speaking, one can never know, is this a song actually composed by Kabir, or was it attributed to Kabir at a later date? This would not have been considered plagiarism. It's just the culture. Somebody felt like he or she is in the mood of Kabir, and then they give the credit to Kabir. With Narottama Das Thakur, I think we're all reasonably sure these are all from Narottama, but with this tradition of Kabir, it's different. Okay, so I'll just read a translation of one song here. He refers to Ram, but Ram is not exactly referring to Ramachandra of the Ramayana. Rather, Ram is somehow nirguna, but still to be an object of devotion. So the song goes, "Stay true to my love, O Rama, O Ram. Don't leave me in this world ocean. You are a tree. I am a vine, a lata. I will stay entwined around you. If you fall, I wither," means I will die out. "What will become of me? Don't forget me in this world ocean. stay true to my love, O Ram. And then the same song, he continues now with a different analogy. You are an ocean, I am a fish. I will stay inside you. If you go dry, I die. What will become of me? Stay true to my love, O Ram. So there's this refrain. Now comes another analogy. You are a cloud. I am a peacock. I'll stay entranced by you. If you thunder, I call out. Again, what will become my love, O Ram? Says Kabir to Dharamdas. Now, in this case, this may be actually written by someone named Dharamdas. Says Kabir to Dharamdas, your beloved dwells in your body. Your beloved makes your heart beat. Don't forget me in this world ocean. Stay true to my love, O Ram. So these refrains are because these are songs. They would have been sung, or they are sung in villages and in melas and so on. So, yeah, I think we may want to agree that that sounds like bhakti. And it's just interesting that in this tradition, Ram is not Ramachandra. Ram is kind of, we might want to say impersonal. But the way this is written, it doesn't sound like this Ram is impersonal. I was just hearing a lecture from Srila Prabhupada where he's insisting bhakti is only for Krishna. If someone says they have, specifically in this lecture, he says, someone says they have bhakti for Kali. He said, no, this is not bhakti. But why it's not bhakti, he explains, because they have some material desire. They want something from Kali. Okay, that's my little show and tell. Anyone else have something you want to share? Some news, some views? Karunamayi, nice to see you. And this must be your daughter.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
I'm,
Hare Krishna.
I'm forgetting your daughter's name.
Draginja.
Dragina.
Draginja, čuješ, kaže Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Kako si? Good. Okay. Any news from Subotitsa? Karunamayi, any news from Subotitsa?
Iz Subotice, pa
Or Sambor?
mislim da ima, održavaju se programi
You're having programs in Sambor?
i akte Sange, da, tako dešavaju se. Ima u više kuće se bakte
Vrlo
sastaju
dobro.
u Subotici.
Okay. Very good, very good. Okay. Good. And Bhakti Esther, you're organizing your September event next year.
Yes, I'm so happy that you received the mail, and with the things we manage right now is what I mentioned is I was visiting Tapasvi Maharaj in his very beautiful temple called Radha-Gopina. And just already on the first conversation, he was so enthusiastic to help. He said, yes, of course, like without much questions. He just told me, whenever you will have the date, just inform me, so I will be having. And then he started to explain what he can offer, and that I got very beautiful impression from him. So we were there visiting them 2 days, and he invited us more, and then there I was just inspired to ask devotees if we could also meet more often during the week, because they have actually everyday programs.
Yeah, they're more active than
yes
on Sunday.
Yes, and so then also I presented this to devotees last Saturday, and we will have the meeting again this week, and it is so beautiful for me that in our community we are it is coming from most of the devotees in the same time. It's very beautiful that we will speak how to improve different desires of devotees, how to serve better in a very friendly way. And what was very beautiful to me also that we are speaking about how to invite devotees who are not there for a long time. Also they are practicing, and we know that somehow how to cover these old wounds. And
yeah.
I will, yes.
Very good, very good.
Yes. So, and then about the festival, it's Rasadadi Prabhu who is always there whenever I want to ask practical things, or even when I tell him, okay, this and this happened, how should I see it? This give me some. He's always there, and so also he was there to consult me with who to ask for the cook. I'm really sorry. You must be hearing my dog. He hears me speaking, so he wants attention. And so the cook we are covered. My sons, like my stepsons, and also local devotees. We will be constructing the pandal in the forest of Zoran, who is the neighbor of Dinanath. Dinanath also with his huge knowledge about how to make the festival. He's the very important part of our few devotees who are organizing, because he has it like in small finger. He knows all the things which should be covered there. And then at the end, so we are asking you to choose the date, and we hope you will be coming. Yes, this is.
I sent you a note, a reply.
Sorry, I didn't see.
Anyway, we can.
Okay, I will see it immediately after the Sanga then. Thank you very much. Thank you, Maharaj. Okay, great.
Just to explain a little, Esther was just mentioning Tapasvi Maharaj, Bhakti, I forget his second part of his name. Tapasvi Maharaj is a sannyasi. He's a godbrother of mine. He's the one and only disciple of Srila Prabhupada in Croatia, or from Croatia and in Croatia. And he's been since many years also a follower of Bhakti Vaibhava Puri Maharaj. And he's been very actively preaching, and he's developed a temple there near Pula. So like that. Okay, I'm just trying to get our reading organized here. Here we go. Now the problem is, I think I kind of lost my place. we were sort of I'm literary student. Okay. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya is he's complimenting this learned scholar, this pundit, trying to make him feel better after he's been humbled or humiliated. And he has okay, I think this may be it. Yes, 106, this should be it. Okay, I'll share the screen. And make it bigger. Yeah, good. We have a bit more time. Let's go ahead with this, and we'll see how we go. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Vaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhaktarinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Vaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhaktarinda. Śrī Chaitanya-charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 16, verse 106. I think this is where we ended last time. Saraswati Shapne Tare Upadesha Khelā Sakshat Ishakari Prabhuke Janila. In a dream, the goddess informed him, the pandit, of the Lord's position, and the poetic champion could understand that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So the word is Ishvara, which Srila Prabhupada many times translates as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this quite special expression. So Swapne, in a dream, Upadesha, he gives advice or instruction. Upadesha Khelā. Sakshat Ishvara. Sakshat means directly. Actually, I think it comes from Sa Aksha. Aksha means eye, the physical eye, or the seeing power, the sense of seeing. And it can mean also, in general, the senses. And so sa means with, so with the eyes. So directly seeing is the idea. Sa akshat. Sakshat Ishvar, Koriya, accepting, Prabhuke Janila. Janila, he understood that this is the Lord, the Prabhu. Okay, so now he gets the point. Prati ashi Prabhupade laila sharana Prabhu kripa koila tara kandila bandana. The next morning, the poet came to Lord Chaitanya and surrendered unto his lotus feet. The Lord bestowed his mercy upon him and cut off all his bondage to material attachment. Prate means in the morning. Asya, coming back. This, as I've said many times, the apostrophe is a substitute for the long Y, long A, which is the gerund asya, having come back. Prabhupada lai la sharana. He took sharana. He took shelter. Where? Prabhu Pade, at the feet of Prabhu. And how did Prabhu respond? Prabhu meaning Lord Chaitanya. Kripa koila. He gave his kripa. He made his kripa. Tarakandila bandhana. His bandhana, his kandila. He cut it off. Now, at this point, someone might wonder. Someone means myself. That here's this great Pandit, and he has now surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Loila Sharana. So why don't we hear anything more about him? Why don't we hear that he becomes, a preacher who then takes up Lord Chaitanya's mission? Why don't we hear that he wrote or he composed some prayers glorifying Lord Chaitanya? Something like that. For me, the same question comes when we read about Prakashananda Saraswati and his followers in Benares, Varanasi, is why we don't find anything written by any of those sannyasis, Prakashananda or any of his followers, that would confirm what Krishnadas Kaviraj says. The historian in me is wondering these things. Prabhupada connects this with the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, surrender unto me in all instances, in all cases. So he's saying, Lord Chaitanya is saying the same thing as Krishna. And then he quotes the Gita, confirming what's happened here. Tyaktva punar janma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. So, Daivi hiyesha gunamahi mama maya duratyaya. Mam eva ye prapadyante mayametam taranti te. Or this verse, what? Verse 9. Oops, it doesn't give us 4:9, right? Okay, that's, I was thinking 7th chapter. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvata tyaktva punar janmanaiti mameti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving this body, tyaktva. So that's this gerund in Sanskrit, having given up, or it can also be in process. So giving up, or Prabhupada has here, leaving aside. Tyaktva deham, leaving aside the body. Punar janma na eti. One does not attain again birth. Instead, mameti, one goes to me. Sa, he goes to me. Okay. There, we're back. Bhagavanta digvijayi shapala jivan vidya bale paila mahaprabhu. The poetic champion, Prabhupada calls it poetic champion, was certainly his life was successful by dint of his vast learning and erudite scholarship. Erudite means expert, and thus he attained the shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vidya bale, on the strength of his vidya, paila Mahaprabhu charana. So his life was sapala, it was with fruit, sapala jivan, and he was bhagyavant, he was fortunate. And he's a digvijayi. Digvijaya is conquering in all the all the directions. And digvijayi is one who conquers all directions. Of course, it could be, to sort of answer my own historian's doubt, that it wasn't that pundits were always writing. They could have just been reciting, composing, and then reciting, like he did for Mahaprabhu, the 100 verses glorifying the Ganga. And that may have been his modus operandi. He would just travel and have these oral competitions with others, and win these competitions, and then that would increase his fame, and then he would move on. And so in this case, he's met Lord Chaitanya, and it's not that Lord Chaitanya says, okay, now you should stop being a digvijay. No, you go ahead and continue being a digvijay. We were just reading also this week from the 3rd volume of Shyamasundar Prabhu's book, Chasing Rhinos with the Swami. And he's telling about a meeting that Prabhupada had. He was in London at the Bury Place Temple in central London before they got Bhaktivedanta Manor. And George Harrison came to visit him, George of the Beatles fame. And they were speaking, and Prabhupada was encouraging George to, because George actually quite sincerely asked him, should I, shave my head? He really wanted to follow Prabhupada. Should I shave my head and, put on these robes, these clothes? And Prabhupada said, no, you should continue doing what you're doing. You should compose and sing songs, but, make some songs also glorifying Krishna. And then Prabhupada said, I will give you some ideas for songs. And then he had his servant, Nanda Kumar, I think it was, bring him his harmonium. And then he immediately started singing, Hari Hari Vipale Janama Goainu, Manusya Janama Payana Navajiya Radha Krishna, Janiya Shuniya Vishakainu. And then he sings the whole song and then he explains it to George. And then the next week, I think it was, George, and he had composed a little song with sort of Om and Hari and I don't remember what other names were there, but it was kind of a mixed bag. He sat down with the harmonium and he played, and Prabhupada listened. And although the song he made was a complete concoction, Prabhupada did not discourage him. He said, in a nice way, he said, whenever we sing Hari, we always also sing Krishna together. So it's Hare Krishna. Or Om, we always have Hare Krishna, something like that. But he didn't say anything to discourage him. He only encouraged. And this may explain, getting back to the Digvijay, it might explain, this is my less than philosophical speculation, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may have said, okay, now be on your way, continue, but, don't be so proud. And do your conquering with, because you're a pandit, you should go on being a pandit, but you should glorify Krishna. Shabalila Barni Achen Vrindavan Das Jekichu Vishesh Iha Korila Prakash. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakura has described all these incidents elaborately. I have only presented the specific incidents he has not described. So maybe one of you can do a little homework and find what does Vrindavan Das say in his Bhagavat, Chaitanya Bhagavat, on this topic. Whether on one side he's saying that he describes more elaborately, but then he says, I'm describing what he did not describe. So that's a little confusing. A Shab Lila Varniyachan. This whole Lila, I don't know, A Shab, he says, all these Lilas, Varniyachan. I think it could also mean this entire Lila, but I'm not sure. Vrindavan Das, Jekichu, that which is particular, special, vishesha, iha, in relation to this, korila prakash, has been manifest. So he's being humble here. Krishnadas Kaviraj is not saying, I have written. He says, the manifestation, the prakasha, korila, has been done. Well, I guess, yes, Prabhupada says, I have made. Okay, I guess it is past tense. Korila Prakash. So I have made manifest. Like that. Chaitanya Gosair Lila Amritera Dara Sharvendriyo Tripto Hoy Shravane Jahara. The nectarian drops of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes can satisfy the senses of everyone who hears them. Amritera Dhara, drops of nectar. Sarvendriya, Sarva Indriya Tripta. This is very Sanskritic Bengali. Sarvendriya Tripta Hoy Shravane Jahara. So of those leelas, in the hearing of those leelas, Shravane Jahara. Prabhupada doesn't give a commentary to that. And then we come to the end of the chapter. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Asha Chaitanya-charitamrita Kohe Krishna Dasa. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunatha, desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Dasa, narrate Shri Chaitanya-charitamrita, following in their footsteps. So Asha, he translates as expectation. There's an expectation, there's a hope. What is the hope for? Well, it's not explicit in the verse. Desiring their mercy, jara. Yeah. So anyway, he's at their feet, pathe, Shri Rupa Raghunatha pathe. Whose expectation is at their feet. I think you could translate. whose hope is at their feet. So having this hope at their feet, Krishnadas speaks Kahe Chaitanya-charitamrita. It doesn't say that he writes Chaitanya-charitamrita. It says that he speaks it, or as Prabhupada translates, he narrates. He tells the story. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to Shri Chaitanya-charitamrita, Adi Lila, 16th chapter, describing the pastimes of the Lord in his childhood and youth. Shri Chaitanya-charitamrita ki jai, Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Okay. Does anyone have any comments on what we just read? Any thoughts?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you were reading about Keshava Kashmiri surrendering to Chaitanya, it says that he was immediately cutting off the material bondage. But I was just thinking of us Hare Krishnas when we joined the movement. We sort of did some sort of surrender, but and further on in this practice of Krishna consciousness, I realized myself that there's so many attachments still there and material desires still there, and I was just wondering, like shastrically, just to maybe help me out study maybe more, Are there like different levels of surrender? Like there could be, let's say, external surrender. I withdrew myself from the material world. I live in the temple. I have a sari, and I have like external appearance. That's one thing. And then another thing is what's the real surrender? And if you could give us some light on that.
Just, we have what you're familiar with, Srila Rupa Goswami's progression, beginning with Shraddha, Sadhu Sanga, Bhajan, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Asakti, Ruchi, Bhava, Prema, and then elaborations on all of those from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in which, as I remember, he explains that there's kind of two times Sadhu Sangha. There's Sadhu Sangha before Shraddha, and then again Sadhu Sangha. So that's the map, you can say, that we get, and you could, I suppose, find, how do we fit into this map? And sometimes we might feel sometimes we may feel somewhere down at the bottom of the map, and sometimes further along. And I think this is comparable to the weather. The weather is cloudy today. Although, as I look out the window, I just noticed actually the clouds left. It's clear now. It's been cloudy for the last few days. Sometimes it's cloudy, sometimes it's sunny. But also that's Vishwanath Chakravarti talks about anishtata bhakti. So before nishtha, he gives 6 types of anishtata bhakti. What is it? Utsahamayi, Ganatarala, Vishaya Sangara, Vyuda Vikalpa, something else, and Taranga Rangini. You know about these?
Not really.
Utsahamayi is overconfidence. It's kind of the sense, yes, I can do all of these things. That's easy. Chant Hare Krishna, anybody can do. And so on. But then realizing, not so easy. Ganatarala literally means thick, thin. Thick and thin. So having strong determination one day and no determination the next day. 64 rounds one day and 1.5 rounds the next day. What are the others? Vishaya Sangara, I think, is trouble with sense enjoyment. Vyuda Vikalpa is having difficulty making decisions. And as I remember, it's been too long since I read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Kadamba, what is the book? And he gives as an example for that one, not being able to decide, should I remain a brahmachari or should I get married? I think that's the example he gives. And what is it? Atma something or other. I'm forgetting. The last one, Tarangaram, enjoying the waves. And it means there are always things to enjoy in devotional life. And so to become attached to those enjoyments and think that that's the whole point, that is a form of anishtata bhakti. There's a very nice series of lectures online by His Holiness Bhaktivigyan Goswami called Crises, I think it's Crises on the Path of Devotion, something like that, on YouTube. He gives very nice analysis of, he makes an interesting parallel actually between the stages that a small child goes through in their maturing process and the stages that devotees go through. And he says, with each of the stages, I think he says up to Nishtha, there will be a crisis. So at Shraddha, there's a crisis. At Sadhu Sanga, there is a crisis. And if one doesn't persist, if one doesn't overcome the crisis, or if one doesn't cross the crossing, crisis just means a crossing, then one falls back. So I would recommend his, it was, I think at least 2 lectures, maybe 3.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We have the math for surrender explanation, what's what.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I'll definitely I'm not looking forward to seeing what step of the ladder I'm at. It's probably not even the first one, but it's good to have knowledge of what to aim for and what to do.
And we shouldn't get too, as we say, hung up on where am I, but be looking more to where are we going.
Where are we going? Yes.
Good. So thank you all for joining us. And I want to thank our translators. You're always doing a yagya when you're translating. And I hope you're all keeping well in your practice of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam. What did I missed one. Anyway, back home, back to Godhead. This week. No, I mean, yes, no, why not? Don't leave us. Back home back to Godhead every day. Okay, thank you all so much. Have a good week. Keep safe, keep sane, and keep chanting and be happy. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai.
Jai.
Jai. Vaishnav Sanga ki jai.
Jai.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone.